What if the life you're living right now isn't new? What if, without realizing it, you've already lived this exact year before? Same fears, same excuses, same ceiling you never quite break through. Different calendar, same reality. Most people call it bad luck, some call it timing, but there's a deeper answer, and it has nothing to do with the world outside you. Somewhere in 17th century Florence, a merchant wakes before sunrise. Stone roads still cold beneath his boots. The market not yet alive. He arrives first, always, leaves last, always works harder than men, twice his age. Sacrifices sleep, sacrifices joy, sacrifices rest, and every single year, he counts the same small pile of coins. Then, one morning, a younger man arrives. No experience, no connections, no history in the market, and within 3 years, that younger man is wearing fine silk gold on his fingers. A house the older man will never afford. The merchant is furious. He blames luck. He blames unfairness. He blames the world. But here's what he never saw. The younger merchant didn't just work differently. He saw himself differently. And that invisible difference changed everything. We've been taught to believe that reality shapes identity, that who you become is a product of what happens to you. But Neville Goddard saw it the other way around. Your identity shapes reality. Your assumptions about yourself don't just describe your life, they construct it, every single day. Quietly, invisibly, like a script running in the background of a machine. Think about the invisible glasses. You've worn them since childhood. You forgot they exist. But every person you meet, every opportunity that appears, every door that opens or closes, passes through that glass. And because the lens never changes, the world never seems to change either. This is why two people can lose the same job in the same week, and end up in completely different lives 2 years later. One rebuilds. One confirms what they already believed about themselves. Same event, different identity, different future. Psychologists have a name for this. They call it a concept. The story you carry about who you are, what you deserve, what's possible for you, what always happens to you. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The human brain is not designed to make you happy. It's designed to make you consistent. So when reality doesn't match your self-concept, your brain quietly corrects. It filters out evidence that contradicts what you believe. It highlights evidence that confirms it. Not out of cruelty, out of efficiency, because consistency feels like safety. Even when the consistent thing is poverty. Even when the consistent thing is loneliness. Even when the consistent thing is invisible failure. Your brain protects the story, because the story is familiar. And familiar feels like home. Here's where it gets darker. A person who silently believes, I always struggle with money, doesn't just think about struggle. They move through the world differently. They avoid risks. They protect what little they have. They hesitate at the door that could change everything. And then they miss it. Not because luck was cruel, because identity predicted the outcome before it even arrived. A king who believes he is poor acts poor. He makes poor decisions. He creates poor results. He looks at the evidence and says, see, I was right. The loop closes. The year resets, and he does it all again. Relationships follow the same architecture. Someone who carries, I always get abandoned, becomes anxious before there's a reason, seeks constant reassurance, misreads silence as rejection, pushes and pulls until the relationship fractures, then stands in the rubble and says, I knew it, but they were the architect, not intentionally, not consciously, but psychologically completely. The belief didn't predict the future, it built it. There was a young man who wanted success badly. He watched every video, read every book, built every routine, and every few weeks he collapsed back into his old life. He blamed discipline, he blamed distraction, he blamed motivation. Then, one sleepless night, he asked himself a different question. Not, what should I be doing? But, who am I being when I do it? And the answer cracked something open. Every action he took came from the posture of someone escaping failure, not someone expecting success. Different posture, different energy, different instructions sent to the world. So he started there, not with habits, not with productivity systems, with identity. He asked, what would someone who expects success actually do today? Then did that dot slowly, something shifted. Not in the world first in him, then in the world. This is where most people misunderstand manifestation. They think it means : visualize, wish, wait. Repeat affirmations while the behavior stays identical. But that's not what Neville Goddard was teaching. He wasn't describing a wish fulfillment technique. He was describing a psychological architecture. Your inner world is not a decoration, it's a blueprint. The outer world doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you assume. And assumptions aren't words, they're postures, they're defaults. They're the person you are when no one is watching. Think of identity like soil. Most people focus on the seeds, the habits, the goals, the routines. But seeds planted in the wrong soil don't grow. They rot, or they sprout briefly and die. Then January comes again. The same goals get written down. The same routines get started. The same invisible collapse arrives 6 weeks later. Not because the seeds were bad, because the soil never changed. Identity is soil. You cannot grow a new life from an old self. Now ask yourself something uncomfortable. What problem keeps repeating in your life? Don't just name it, feel it. The specific frustration, the specific ceiling, the specific loop you keep finding yourself inside. Now ask the harder question. What version of you keeps recreating it? Because here is the truth. Most self-help content never says directly. People rarely repeat life. They repeat themselves. The same emotional reactions. The same silent assumptions. The same story about who they are and what they deserve. Repeated long enough. Those stories don't just describe reality. They are reality. Imagine waking up tomorrow, genuinely, completely convinced you are incapable. Feel that for a moment. Your posture closes. Your voice shrinks. Your decisions shrink. You hesitate at the thing that might have changed your life. Now imagine waking up tomorrow, genuinely convinced that opportunity moves toward you, that you are someone things work out for. Different morning, different posture, different decisions, different year, same external world, completely different life. The people who escape the loop don't always work harder. They don't always find a new strategy. They do one uncomfortable thing. They give themselves permission to become someone unfamiliar. Because a new identity feels fake at first. It feels arrogant. It feels like lying. But here's what no one tells you. Your old identity felt fake once too. You learned it. You repeated it. You protected it until it felt like you. The same process that built the prison can build the exit. So here is the final question. Not, why is my life repeating? But, who is repeating it? Are you trapped by reality? Or are you trapped by a version of yourself that reality has simply learned to mirror? Because reality rarely changes first. The person does. And that is simultaneously the most frightening thing you may have ever considered, and the most hopeful, because if you built this life, you can build a different one. Not by changing what you do first, by changing who you are while you do it.